Good morning. It's Tuesday. Decided I was gonna do a quick little clean out of the Encore here. It deserves it. It's been working pretty hard for the past couple of months, and I have cleaned it out before. I just feel like it's been about a minute. So, how are you doing? Everything here is pretty good. That comes out. We can get these. It's a burr grinder. Everything kind of grinds against itself and is kind of by circular motion pushed down into the grinders. So it catches with these burrs and the burrs just pull them down. So that's a burr grinder. There's a flat burr grinder as well. That's more like a flour mill. I think it's how it works. It's a bit of a flour mill. It's like two stones coming together, crushing it that way. Yeah, so it's more of a, it's a grind though, it's a grinder. So I think that's how they work. Those would be fun. Let's see. We're gonna tip this upside down. That burr grinder does not come out. So, I mean, it probably would under force, but I wouldn't try. I didn't get my thinner one. I have a thinner one. Maybe I can try getting in there with that. I'm gonna have to wash it out pretty good when I'm done with it, but let's see. You get so many deposits down in here, but it's, you know, it's coffee. It's like sand. Sand gets everywhere. You go to the beach, you're the next 2 days after you get home, getting all the sand out of everything. Ground coffee is like that sometimes, depending. I don't think it really depends. I mean, there are some higher end grinders that have less mechanism and less follow through, where it's like just a direct spout rather than it having to go through a very, see, there's a hole under here, right there. And that can get some caked on deposits too. So, all right, so we line up our red with our red. Go. We put our little rubber sleeve on. Someday this is going to be replaced. Hopefully they've got some replacements. I'm sure it gets a little bit harder over time. And we'll put our comb back on, match it up at the 0 mark over here. And then we're going to do a medium fine today. And that's it, really. That's all I got for the cleaning it out portion. A well-maintained grinder will keep grinding for you for a long time, so I guess. This is my first grinder, so it's my first electric grinder that's been remarkably wonderful. Let's do 36. I'll do 36 grams of coffee today. I've got something coming in the mail. Should be here Wednesday, just in time for the Thursday morning. That'll be fun. I'm excited to show that off. It's coffee related. So, $36. It's yeah. I don't want to spoil it. You know what? I don't want to talk about it until it gets here, because then the surprise is gone. But it's something that's coming. I've always wanted one. I think it'll be neat to give it a try. So we'll talk about it when it comes, and I can fiddle with it on Wednesday. Until then. A nice, delicious crimson roast, light roast, one of my favorites. I guess it's kind of a cheat, because I've had one or two that I've been like, I'm never going to drink that again. Generally, I've only bought coffee that seems to be pleasant and enjoyable. So, do it again? There you go. All right, so I watched the, Netflix has got that One Piece live action. I'd never watched the One Piece cartoon, and you know that should probably tell you where I was going into this. Completely blind. I've seen memes with Luffy, and Luffy alone. The rest of them could have been mystical, and I wouldn't have known it. But you know, Luffy, the main character, a monkey D. Luffy. It was so good. I really loved it. It was so much fun. I watched the entire thing over a week. highly recommend you check it out. I know there are people out there that have watched the cartoon and went to watch this and felt like they were disappointed. Would I have been? I can honestly say no, I would not have been. I would have watched the cartoon for what it was, and then I would have watched the live action for what it was, and I would have enjoyed the live action just as much. I can say that with no hesitation. Because it's just the way I am. That's just the way my brain works. I can separate shit. You know, I can say this is the cartoon version. They can go all out and be completely wacky and crazy and nuts in the cartoon version, and then you turn around and get the live action version, and you get everything that they can do. And this one just seems, it's so playful and fun and bright, and a stark contrast to what we've been getting in some of these things, where it's always dark and dank, and then there's the darkest hour, and then everybody's holding their breath because they don't know what's going to happen, and then, you know, it's just one of those things where it, and another thing, there's a lot of jumping around. You know, it's like the show can't keep focus. It's got to go to a million different places, and the story arc in this was just so linear. And you got to meet each character, but you didn't have to meet each character completely separate. And, you know, they had their little flashbacks, but each character, for the most part, stayed together with each other. And it was just like a linear progression. I think it was very well done. And it would be nice to see other adaptations follow this same formula, especially of, you know, kind of whimsical. I feel One Piece is very whimsical. At least the TV show was. I don't know if the cartoon was, but it just seems like very whimsical, not fast-paced. It came from an era before they started doing the fast-paced hard cuts. Here's this, boom, here's this, boom, here's this story beat, boom. Now we're going to another story beat that's 300 miles away, boom. You know, there's just a lot of jumbled up messes. Sometimes they don't get resolved because there's so many of them. But then, you know, this seemed like it came from an era where, you know, there's a linear story progression. We're assembling a team, and it makes sense within the confines of the whimsical story. I just loved it. It was great. And, you know, that's me telling you it's great without trying not to spoil anything. I mean, I guess telling you I felt that it's great could be a spoiler. Why have reviews, I guess? I mean, in essence, why have reviews? Review people are aggravating sometimes. There's this whole thing on Facebook now where, and it's partially my fault because I think I stopped once to watch one halfway through, but now there's these things where people are in the corner watching things happen, and then I suppose they're supposed to react to the reaction. Reaction videos are the worst things. And I saw someone do a reaction video to a reaction video. Yikes. It's getting more and more difficult to try to do a YouTube thing when you have, and I use the term lightly, a set of principles where you're like, I don't want to do that, but everybody's doing it, but I don't. You know, I have no desire to do that. I'm watching this person react to something, and then I laugh about it. And then another terrible thing that I've seen is the people with the lavalier microphones, and they're holding the lavalier microphones. Lavalier microphones go on your lapel, or on your shirt, or between a button, something like that, so that your hand's free. And there are these people that are holding a lapel microphone, and it is the dumbest looking thing I have ever witnessed in, I mean, and there are a lot of dumb things on YouTube, but that whole thing where they're holding the lapel mic, they're holding it like this, and then they're going back and forth between each other. That is so terrible. That is the grossest thing. You know, I understand you may only have one microphone, but get a stick mic, you know? I mean, kids want to break the mold. Young, youthful people want to break the mold. They want to do something different. They want to do something that stands out. And I'm all about that. I'm all for that. Try new things. Try new different things. But a lavalier mic has been around for decades. Over 50 years. 75 years probably at this point. Taking something that's established and doing it like, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make anything you're doing more compelling. It just makes you look like you don't know how to use a microphone, you know? Get somebody to hold a boom mic over top of you if you don't want to hold a microphone, a traditional microphone. I mean, and a boom mic, all you would need is a traditional microphone wired on a mop handle. That's all you would need. 266 grams. I did zero it out this time, so I'm on the money for the most part. Yeah, it's just the old radio guy in me kind of coming out to play. It's just, there's a tried and true method. There's little to no reason to deviate from it. I mean, there's no reason to deviate from it unless you want to be someone who is just, I mean, it's like eating an apple during a monologue. You just look like an asshole, you know? You just do. And then, you know, the whole idea that you're holding a lavalier mic, it's not going against the grain. It's not going against normalcy. It's just looking like 450. 450, give me 450. 450. It's not going against norm. It's just, you just look like an idiot. I mean, I guess that sounds harsh, I suppose. But, you know, I mean, you're not breaking with a tradition by using a lavalier mic wrong. You know, you're just doing it wrong. You know. I don't know. It's weird. And there are days when I don't want to sound like an old man, but there are days where it's like you have to. I mean, it's just got to come out. The old man's just got to come out. I mean, you can't reinvent the wheel. They've tried. I'm pretty sure. I mean, they've refined it. You can refine it, but taking a lavalier mic off of your lapel and using it like a handheld mic, when the wind guard on it is so paper thin, every P is popped, every TH is, I mean, and every S has static in it. I mean, that just sounds terrible, you know. And in an industry where, you know, folks have prided themselves on, you know, doing things to a certain standard, you know, now people seem to think that bucking that standard is cool and hip. And I just don't think it is, personally. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. This is just me ranting. I mean, I don't know. I'm sitting here, I'm twiddling my thumbs, and I'm watching other people do things, and not only do things, and again, I don't like saying do things wrong, but they're doing it wrong. They just are. I mean, you can say it's not hurting anyone, but it kind of is, because this is how other people are learning about this kind of stuff, is by watching and doom scrolling YouTube videos, Instagram posts, and Facebook videos. You know, they're doom scrolling this stuff, and this is where they're seeing, you know, hey, you know, he's holding it that way. I'll bet that's cool, and it's not. According to the old man drinking coffee, it's not cool. Either pin the lapel mic to your lapel, or get a stick mic. You'll look far more dignified holding a stick mic going back and forth. And I guess that's kind of the thing. I mean, I think we're the last generation that worries about standards of journalism. You know, the people that went through the journalism classes, the people that went through radio and TV broadcasting classes. You know, it just seems like that we're like the last generation that cares about any kind of standard of ethics. Because, I mean, ethics are just going out the window when it comes to news. It just is. And I don't mean to be somber or, you know, down about things, but gee, many Christmas. There's just the standards are just gone. You know, no one's asking questions. They're just sitting there and nodding. And it's all about ratings now. You know, it's just every radio, every news outlet, it's just about ratings now and advertising revenue. It has nothing to do with providing you with the news. And that's all of them. It is. It's all of them. You know, I don't like both sides siding things, because that's ridiculous half the time. But really, every news organization discovered they could get revenue from many, many sources and earn a lot of money for it. And now our standard of journalism has gone to zero or close to. And there are some places that have no journalistic integrity at all. I think the last bastion is local radio stations that have a news department, and that news is only aired like during the morning show. And for example, and I am very biased, I will say it right off the bat, I am very biased. Clark Donnelly on Sunny 95, the morning show with Stacey and Dino. Clark Donnelly's always been my like bastion of news integrity. He does read stuff off of the AP Wire, but you know, he just seems, he's just that voice that, and then you know, he likes to question and that kind of a thing. You know, at least back when I don't know today, I haven't really listened to the show, but I would assume that really doesn't change. You know, it's just like those radio stations that are local that do the news like in the mornings with the morning show. Those just seem like the last bastions of hope for journalistic integrity, because you're not going to get it on a cable news show, you know? So I don't know. That's my rant for the morning. This Crimson Light Roast smells amazing. It has a depth and a clarity to the smell that just makes it a wonderful wake you up, you know? I should start doing light roasts. I should just forego mediums, you know? A light roast doesn't mean there's less caffeine. A light roast just means that it was just roasted lighter, you know? It doesn't mean there's less caffeine. It doesn't mean there's less flavor. It's just a different flavor. You know, you get more brightness, more sweeter undertones maybe, because, you know, you get more like a dark chocolate sweetness from a medium roast. From this, you get more of like a fruity burst. Oh, yeah. I get more apricot in this than the other one. That's good coffee. That's really good. The Crimson is at Easton, almost across the street from where I worked at my home. Let's see. I'm trying to think. There's the Slurping Turtle. There is the something root, forbidden root, across from it. But there's an area full of swings, and then it looks like a little house. And it's great. It's great. The people there were great. Their coffee that they make is great. They're trying things. They have a seasonal menu. They have a chemistry set in the back where they test different flavors and whatnot. It's just a fantastic, dynamic little shop, and they have this great coffee. And they've also got some really nice coffee making products in the front of the store. And I'm not sponsored by them. I just know what I like, and they're great. Anyway, if you're in the Easton area, try to find that Crimson. Just look it up on your phone. GPS will take you right to it. And I love their coffee, and this is definitely a wonderful example of that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this morning. Sorry about the rant. I should just, say that at the end of every one of these, shouldn't I? Sorry about the rant, but I really appreciate you tuning in. We'll come back tomorrow. I'm going to do a little cold coffee tomorrow. We may revisit this Crimson because the light coffees are really good for colder coffees. We'll go over that, and then my new device should be here, and then we'll do that on Thursday, and we'll play with that. So thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Guys, gals, and everybody in between, love you. See you later. Bye.